right, so the topic for today is how to deal with fear. I think this is something everyone kind of can relate with.
Yeah.
I think there are times everyone's a little bit scared, a little bit fearful of things.
Especially the unknown.
Facts. I think, I honestly think it could be quite hard to deal with fear. You know, especially because it's the unknown, and I think because especially how a lot of people think and how their minds kind of work is a lot of people will fear something and expect the worst.
Yeah.
They think that the worst thing is possibly is going to happen. But I saw something Isaac Hormozy said, and it was essentially along the lines of he was like, fear is a mile wide but an inch deep. So essentially, like he like compared it to like being in like a gigantic ocean, and he was like, you step into the ocean, which is essentially fear, and you realize like you're not drowning, that like the water is like really shallow. And all you have to do is essentially just walk through that. So it's like a mile wide, but it's only an inch deep.
But it's taking that step in the first place.
Exactly. But it's realizing like, yo, you taking that first step and you kind of going forward as you realizing, even though you're scared of it, you're not gonna drown. It's not gonna kill you. Now you might be fearful throughout the whole journey, but like it's not really that serious, you know? And I think too, a lot of times that fear goes away kind of just by like taking that chance, taking that risk.
Yeah.
Sometimes as soon as you like take that risk, whether that is like starting your business or talking to that girl you like, or um, even in the gym, going up in weight, kind of like just taking that first fear.
I remember a friend of ours said she didn't want to go to the gym because she was afraid people were looking at her.
Exactly.
Instead of taking that first step.
But you take that first step, and kind of like taking that first step, you realize that, oh shit, it's not even that serious.
No one's paying attention to you.
It's not even that deep. No, exactly. In terms of the gym, no one's paying attention to you. And I think also too, a lot of people let fear hold them back. And sometimes you kind of stepping into that fear, you realize you're capable of much more than you thought. You know, you thought you couldn't do it, but by the time you when you do take the action, you realize like, oh wow, I can actually do this. This is something I can actually do. This is something I can grow from and I can learn, and I definitely am able to do this. I'm able to be amongst these certain people. So I think a lot of times dealing with fear, I think the first step is you kind of just got to go for it. I know it's easier said than done, but sometimes you kind of just got to charge the situation. You just got to go all in. And kind of once you go all in, you realize, oh shit, this actually ain't that bad.
You know, I have to agree with you, man. I think in most situations, it's just mind over matter. You know, I think in most situations, people psych themselves out.
Yeah.
And I think they overthink
Yeah.
certain situations. I think what would help people is if you just think back to a time in your past. We all have a time in our past when we were fearful of something.
Yeah.
But then you overcame that fear.
Yeah.
Whether that be whether we were a kid, you know, a teenager, a young adult, or an adult. You have gone through something in life where you've had to tackle a situation.
Yeah.
You didn't know how you would tackle it, but you went through and you made it out alive, you know? Whether it be, I remember having to read in front of a class in high school or in middle school. I was terrified to do that, bro. You know? And I remember thinking in high school, I don't even know if I can do this in college. When I hit college, bro, I was reading in front of classes like I had no problem.
Like you had no choice.
It's just like I'm just reading. That's
Yeah.
all it really is, you know? I remember times where I was afraid to approach girls. I didn't know what to do, didn't know how to talk to them. And then when I finally got the courage to actually talk to them, this weight was off my chest. This weight was off my shoulders. I was like, damn, that's actually not as bad as I thought it was because they're just human beings.
Exactly.
You know, we psych ourselves out and we overthink a lot of the scenarios that we kind of put ourselves in.
Yeah.
Also, the way the mind works, we always think the worst possible case.
Yeah.
You know?
Without doubt.
It's just like you never really think positive. And I think putting yourself in a positive mindset will help you tremendously in regards to tackling your fear. You know, fear of anxiety, fear of going out there and putting yourselves. And actually, I think what would help people is to practice.
For real.
Practice doing things that you fear doing. You know, the more you conquer those fears, you'll begin to know it really isn't anything at the end of the day. It's really just you holding yourself back.
That's
you know?
all it is.
I've seen situations where people will let other people stop them from doing something. They're either afraid to say certain things or they're afraid to do certain things. But what you'll come to find out, and old people know this. This is kind of why they don't fear anything. Most old people.
They don't give a fuck.
They've come to the realization that everyone is so focused on their own lives, they don't care about you in the first place.
Exactly.
So if you think someone's watching you, if you think people care about what you're going on with, they don't.
Exactly.
Half of the time they don't. Maybe there's one or two people who are actually being observant of you, of course, because people are.
The majority of people
But
are too
majority of
focused on
people are just
themselves.
so focused on their own lives.
Yep.
They don't give two shits about what you're doing. You could be on the street dying. They just walk right past you.
Yeah, man.
You know? So at the end of the day, I understand when someone's afraid they don't and they haven't had to deal with certain situations, you know, because I've gone through it too. So I can't knock you from feeling the way you're feeling. Because
course.
trust me, man, I've liked girls and I've overthought the situation. You know, I've had situations where I had a presentation and I'm like terrified to present.
Yeah.
You know, thankfully because I tackled those fears, because I kept pushing, regardless of how I felt. Over time, I just became used to it. You know, it was just like, all right, it's just another thing. It's just another thing that you gotta like handle.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it makes you a stronger human being.
I think also too, when it comes to fear, I think a lot of people are also, when they're trying to do something new, they're afraid of either making a fool of themselves or afraid of messing up.
Yeah, that's a great point.
So it's like, kind of understand that like you're a human being.
Yeah.
Like it's okay to mess up.
Yeah,
It's
fine.
it's okay to go talk to. You know how many girls I done talked to, and got rejected from.
Man,
You know how many girls I
happens to the
done
best of us.
I done went to go talk to a shorty and she wasn't feeling me. You know how many times where I had to put myself out there when I had to present, and I went up there and I was talking, and all of a sudden, bro, I like mispronounced the wrong word, or I kind of started like studying and I started like tripping up.
Yeah, of
But
course.
like, understand, like you don't gotta go up there and be perfect, and no one. And funny enough, no one really expects you to be perfect. No one's expecting you to go up there and be the Michael Jordan of presenting, or the Michael Jordan of this, and be the one that's going to go up there, perfectly present, make sure that nothing wrong happens, everything goes perfectly. That's just not how
And you gotta remind yourself too, in regards to the whole present stuff. Those kids are so focused on their own presentations, they're not even. You're really only presented to the teacher. They don't care about you.
Nah.
They're focusing on themselves.
Nah.
At the end of the day.
Exactly. And crazy enough, sometimes, and I've seen this, but you know, sometimes your whole life can change, and it's all on the other side of fear.
Bro, that's so
Like,
true.
It can change.
That's so
everything,
true.
bro. You could
Just
be,
going for it.
You could be so scared to go do something, but little do you know, if you just push through that fear, that can change your life in a whole new way.
True.
You know.
Yeah.
But a lot of people kind of like hold themselves back, and I can even use us for example, especially with this whole podcasting and what we're trying to do. Like, especially in the beginning, bro, and even now, we have like fearful moments, bro, because it's just not really in our. It's not in our like.
We're very to ourselves people.
Exactly.
And you're
like,
putting
this
yourselves
is
out
just,
there to the masses.
Exactly. Like, this is not just who we are off rip. We aren't very extroverted people off rip.
Yeah.
We've never been that way.
Yep.
So for us to kind of put ourselves out there to the world, it's quite fearful. Like, imagine how we felt in the beginning, bro.
And you open yourself up to a lot of criticism.
Exactly, bro. We start off with audio in the beginning. We were scared to post the audio.
Yeah, for
Type
real.
shit. You know what I'm saying? So you're opening yourself to other people. You open yourself to a whole bunch of different criticisms. You open yourself to people saying certain things about you that you ain't really fuck with, that you don't like. But at the same time, like, this shit could change your life. You don't even know.
That's just a part of the process.
Exactly, bro. You step out your box and you do something that you've been scared to, but
Yes.
because you fuck around and put your
Yes.
face out there, that might fuck around and change your whole life.
Change your life,
And you
meet
would
new
never,
people,
exactly,
get new experiences,
exactly.
make new memories.
New opportunities. But you would never know if you're too scared to take that step. You would never know if you kind of just like, you know what, I'm never going to do it. I'm going to just kind of just stay to myself.
If
and
you
just
stay
be
inside
like
your house the entire time, nothing will ever happen to you.
Ever, bro.
Nothing will ever happen.
Ever. So you kind of got to take that step. You got to take that risk and just kind of try it. I also think too, we only live once.
You only get one life.
Yeah, bro. And why would you want to live with regret?
And you don't know if tomorrow is promised.
Facts. Do you want to be 30 and 40 years old and wish that you did something, that wish that you started that business, talked to that girl, you know what I mean, took that trip, did that experience with your friends, tried out that new job, quit your job to go do another job type shit? Do you want to sit there and have all these regrets? Or do you kind of just want to, I'm not saying take every single risk. I'm not saying that, but especially be calculated with it. But do you want to do you want to be the person to have all these regrets just because you were scared? Or do you want to be the person to be like, well, actually, I tried this, I did this, I did this, I did this, because I wasn't scared, and that could have put you in a position you never thought you would have been in.
And you know what I think will also help people to control their fear? It's their time management.
Yep.
Being able to focus on specific tasks that you need to do, especially tasks that have a deadline.
Yeah.
Because it's extremely stressful, especially if you're in college or you got bills to pay.
Yeah.
if you haven't done those things by the deadline, and now you're fearful of what's going to happen to you.
Yeah.
If you just manage your time correctly, focused on what you need to focus on, did what you had to do. Say, for instance, you got an essay to write, or you're studying for a class. If you studied each day throughout the whole week, you'll be prepared for the next week to come. But if you're studying the Sunday before the test on Monday, now you're fearful of, damn, I don't know, will I pass? What's my grades gonna be? I need to pass this. I need to pass this class so I can keep going on.
Exactly.
If I don't get a good enough grade on this specific test, my grade could then drop and now I fail the class. It's just managing your time and setting yourself up for success.
And crazy enough, you make a very good point. Some fear just comes from poor preparation.
Yes.
It's like you could have actually avoided this whole fear thing if you just, like you said, had time management,
prepared yourself
and put
correctly.
yourself in the position to where once game time happened,
You're ready for it.
you're ready. There's no need to be fear because you were like, well, I did everything I needed to do in order to make sure that I was prepared for this
So
very
you're
moment.
not you're not worried. You just execute.
Exactly.
You're just ready to take the opportunity. You're ready to go.
Exactly.
You're ready to do what you gotta do.
Exactly. But like you said, if you don't study or if you just don't put in that work to prepare, come the day of the test or come the day of when you have to take action.
Now you're lost. You're like, damn, bro, I'm seeing equations I ain't never seen before.
Thanks, bro.
I'm hearing about things that I ain't even learn during the class.
Exactly.
Little do you know, if you really paid attention and if you really studied,
You would have been straight.
you would have been straight.
You would have been
You'd
straight.
been perfectly fine. So overall, man, lastly finishing up, fear can be conquered. It takes time, it takes effort, it takes practice. If you continuously push and you understand that and you know what, you can even start with small things. You don't have to take on the big fears immediately, Kind of just do it as levels. Level 1, you start off with something small.
Yep.
Level 2, you slowly move up, Maybe that might be going out there and actually speaking to someone, Level 3, maybe see a girl that you like. Maybe see a guy that you like. Actually going up there and talking to them, Level 4, maybe applying for a job that you ain't never think you could get.
Facts.
Level 5, trying to go to college and trying to graduate or do whatever you got to do for yourself.
Yeah.
So there are things that you can do to set yourself up for success. One of these things is trying to conquer those fears. Me and Tyler, we have fears, and we actively try our best to conquer those fears.
Thanks,
It's a daily process. It's not something that you just go figure out tomorrow.
Yeah.
Everyone has fears.
Yeah.
You're not a human being if you don't.
Yeah.
It's a part of your feelings. It's just simply learning to control them and using them to your advantage.
And what I use personally, for me personally, what I use is regret is a huge driver in my life.
You know what? I thought about that earlier. I didn't say that's a great point.
Bruh, just because I
true.
just don't want to.
You only got the one life, man.
Bruh, I would rather try something and just fail than not try it at all and now live with the idea of, well, what if?
What could have been?
What could have been if I just tried?
I got too many of those, man.
At least if I tried and I failed, I understood. I have that closure.
You know
that,
what it is.
okay.
You got your answer.
Exactly. Maybe this wasn't for me. Maybe I shouldn't do this. Maybe this isn't a great idea. Cool.
But at least you know.
But for me to be sitting here 10 years from now, be like, damn, I wish I did this.
Yep.
I wish I should have did this. I should have tried this. I should have talked to this person. I should have did this.
Yep.
Like, you know what I'm saying? And that's what drives me because I just really don't want to live with I don't want to live with regret. Or if I'm going to have any regrets in my life, I want it to be the most smallest list of regrets that I could possibly
not a
be.
laundry list.
Exactly.
Yep.
I ain't trying to have fucking 35 regrets. If anything, let it keep it to be like fucking 1 to 5, 1 to 10 regrets. Keep it as small as possible.
Yeah, ideally.
So at least I don't have to sit and be an older man and not have to sit here and just contemplate about what if I did this when I was younger.
What if?
Exactly.
True.